How's it going, everyone? We're back with another sit-down car video. The response on the last one was crazy, and I just want to say thank you so much for that. This video is going to be another rant one that I think is going to provide a ton of value for you. So all I ask is if you do find value throughout this video, please drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, and obviously like the video. It helps the algorithm. But this video is going to be good. I'm not too sure what the title is going to be, but essentially this one thing that you are doing is holding you back from profitability. It's also holding you back from becoming a funded trader. And this is something that not only I have experienced, but having a mentorship group, dealing with hundreds of people, thousands of people in an old free group, I've seen so many common similarities between people and myself, like I said, that has really held them back from finding that profitability and becoming a funded trader. And in this video, I'm going to discuss what that is. Greed is what is stopping you from becoming a profitable trader. It's stopping you from becoming a funded trader. And before you click off this video, I'm not sure if you're like, oh, all right, I'm gone. I need to explain to you why, and I'm also going to explain to you how to get over this. You know, a little background story on myself. I've been trading over 5 years now, and greed is something that even to this day, it happened to me this week, still haunts me, and it still gets the best of me sometimes. It's a human emotion that we all feel, you know, fear and greed, and it's detrimental to us. It's detrimental to our success because with greed, that natural human emotion for always wanting more, when we're trading, and that dopamine response is getting activated, right? Because it's the same thing in gambling, right? Gets activated, the dopamine, right? You want more and more and more. And one thing, let me tell you, back in the day, I used to chase crazy high risk reward trades. Okay. So I thought 1 to 10s were the way to success. I thought 1 to 10s were the way to profitability, right? So I'd be up 4% in one trade, 5% one trade, 6, 7% in one trade. And because I'd be chasing that 1 to 10, most of the time, as most of you know who maybe went and traded that way before, the market reversed on me and I gave back all of that profit. So because I wanted more, because I was trying to achieve such a crazy high risk reward, I was giving back 4, 5, 6% in one trade, which is crazy to me because now I look at 1 to 2s and 1 to 3s like that's amazing, right? Because they can be done consistently. But the point is, greed can hold you back from achieving more, can hold you back from being a profitable trader. The amount of times where I have wanted to try and pass a prop firm in one trade and then end up losing that trade or end up giving the profits back is insane. Let me take a minute to talk about one of the best new prop firms in the industry, Think Capital. Think Markets, a fully regulated broker, has entered the prop space. This is huge for us traders. With over 15 years of broker experience and regulation, this gives us another prop firm we can trust. We can trade right from TradingView, or you can use the classic MT5 with up to $300K in max allocation, and they also offer to US clients. I know this is amazing news to my American trader friends. You can even withdraw your profits right to your Think Markets broker account. If you use the code ARMTrading, you will get 15% off any challenge. Please make sure you sign up and create an account, then at checkout the code will work. The code is also case sensitive, so make sure you type it in exactly how it is shown. Let's get back to the video. They don't all have to be home run trades, right? Your trades don't have to be the crazy risk reward. They don't have to be the crazy bangers in order for you to pass these challenges, in order for you to find profitability. It's small base hits. You know what I mean? Like a 1 to 2 here, a roll stop 1 to 1 here. You know what I mean? A 1 to 3 here. Next thing you know, you're a profitable trader. Next thing you know, you have funding locked in, right? And this is something, like I said, I've helped hundreds of mentorship students and thousands of people in my free group before. This was a very, very common theme. People would want to try and pass these challenges. People would want to try and make the most amount of money they can in one trade, whether that be on your personal account, whether that be on your prop firm account. And it's amazing what happens. There's a stat, I forget the stat of how many people end up getting their first payout. And it's really, really crazy how small it is. And it doesn't make sense to me because it's not that hard. Once you have the account, you know how to trade, you know what you're doing. I don't understand it. And what I've kind of broken it down to, looking at the statistics, is that people want to try and make the most amount of money quickly, right? So people go and get the prop firm, they pass, they get the challenge, right? They pass, then they get the funded account. And instead of just trading it normally, they want to try and get on the leaderboard, or they want to try and go make $20,000 that first payout. And what do they end up doing? They end up being greedy and they end up giving it back. One of my trader buddies, Will, told me way back when that the best thing to do with prop firms is to win a trade, win 2 trades, collect your payout and go on. And that way you're getting consistent payouts, right? And that's what helped me tremendously, instead of trying to get the crazy payouts, because that's where a lot of people go wrong. They try and get that crazy payout instead of just trading consistently and realizing, that 2% a month, 3% a month is amazing done consistently, over a period of time. But unfortunately, due to social media, it becomes very, very hard, because we already have the natural emotion of greed. But when you combine that, with comparison, and then you just get this big storm of just something that's going to wreck you, right? Because you're now greedy, so you already want more. But now you see Timmy over here on Instagram posting that he had a 20K payout, and you want to go and replicate that. And instead you kind of give up what works for you. You give up your trading style and what makes you a good trader to try and fulfill this fallacy over here, right? It's very, very important that you understand that they don't all have to be home runs, okay? And the way I got over this in my trading is realizing that if I sit here and try and wait for these home run trades, if I sit here and give profit back, it's only going to hurt me and not get me to where I want to be. Okay. So this past 2 weeks, I was up on a trade actually. And because I wanted it to get this extra bit, I ended up giving all the profits back. And there was another trade this week where I was up thousands on my personal, and it ended up coming back against me when I should have just banked the profit. You know what I mean? Because I got greedy instead of looking at where I was and how the market was reacting. Okay. So say I needed to break this high. Okay. I was up a couple $1,000s. I needed to break this high, or I needed to break this low. And the trade failed to break that lower high. Instead of just closing the trade and moving on and banking the profits, I ended up giving them all back and ended up coming back all the way to break even, because instead of focusing on what the market was actually doing in that time period, I was looking at MetaTrader and I was looking at what my take profit would be. I was like, oh my God, okay, I'll pass this challenge in one trade with this trade here. You know what I mean? Or my personal, this will be a $5,000 trade. I wasn't focused on what market was actually doing. And I could have just closed the trade and made a bunch of profits. But because I wanted that home run trade, I ended up banking nothing, essentially. You know what I mean? And it's crazy the emotions that can get involved when you are playing with greed. You know what I mean? And like I said earlier, don't beat yourself up if you are experiencing this emotion, because it's a normal human emotion that we are going to experience as traders. But it's crazy to see how much it can help. It's crazy how much it can hurt our trading. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, if you go for your prop firm challenges and you simply just take the setups that come and you manage accordingly, maybe you roll stop loss when you're up. This is something that helped me tremendously as well with greed. Okay. So I'm going to share this right now. This is my personal little secret. Okay. And probably not a secret because I've shared it a couple times, but if you've watched my trade breakdown videos on the RM Trading YouTube channel, you should go check that out. I talk about how I manage my risk. Okay. So this thing right here helped me so much with greed. It's not even funny. And it's funny because I didn't do this week. I didn't do this. And the one time I didn't do it, it comes all the way back and spanks me out at break even. Okay. So what I do is when I am up 2% or more on a trade, so let's say I'm running in profit and I'm up over 2%, I will roll my stop loss to bank that 2%. And whatever happens after that, I let the market go to the final target or where I think it's going to go to. And it's just a bonus. And this is something that has helped me tremendously. It's called the 2R rule. And it's helped my community members like crazy. If you're an RM Trading member, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's helped us like crazy. It's helped a couple of my buddies get so far into their challenges right away, whereas before they were struggling because they would give some back all the time. They would, do what I was doing earlier in the video. Like I said, way higher risk reward. It would come back and take you out for break even or a loss potentially. But this way, you're just always banking profits when the trade is moving, right? I'm not a big fan of partials, and I'll explain to you why. Partials, I feel like they dilute the trade. Now, there is no right or wrong. You may love taking partials, but for me, I used to take partials before, and what I found was my trade, it would end up hitting take profit for like a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, but I took partials along the way, and then the trade ended up being like a 1.5R or 2% instead of 3. Whereas I would let a trade hit my full stop loss. So I thought the risk to reward tool wasn't being used properly because the win wouldn't be what the win should be, and the loss would be a full loss, right? So instead, when the market is up 2%, I'll roll my stop loss, and it hasn't failed me once. It's been honestly amazing because when the market continues in one direction, sometimes it just like drops like crazy, right? You can continue to roll your stop loss, or you can just leave it at 2%. But if it hits 2% and then comes against you, then it is what it is. Now you're probably going to ask, Mac, what happens if, it hits you at 2% and then it goes to your final TP? That happens sometimes, but most of the time, the market ends up coming all the way back. And there's been times where this rule has saved me so much, and I'm just super, super grateful for it. So remember, greed is a natural human emotion. And in order to become a trader, in order to become a profitable funded trader, you have to get over these emotions. We talked about fear recently, and now we're talking about greed. These are two natural human emotions that are extremely important. And if you tackle these emotions, you're going to become a profitable trader. You're going to become a funded trader, because these emotions are the ones that hold us back. And trading is all about kind of unlearning, the natural human emotions, right? And trying to manage them as much as we can, because trading brings out the highs, the lows in us, right? And it's our job as traders to manage that accordingly. That is the psychology that matters the most. You can have the winning strategy, which in my opinion, is the most important part to figure out first. Then after that, you just build your psychology, and that's going to be practicing things like this, putting rules in place that help with greed. You know what I mean? Lowering your targets, increasing your win rate, realizing that a trade is going to be around the corner, right? But the worst thing that you can do is be greedy, and in the markets and in life, right? We have to be grateful. And one thing that I always used to say every single time an A+ setup came to me, I would say I'm grateful for this setup, regardless of how it works, regardless if it hits take profit, regardless if it takes me out. I'm just grateful for this setup. And with these challenges, they end up getting to us because you start to focus heavily on the outcome rather than the process, right? I was talking about this with one of our community members the other day. He was talking about how he was up 6%, and then unfortunately now he hit a little bit of losing streak and he's in drawdown, and now he's feeling stressed on what to do and how to recover, right? And I came to this conclusion that when we're going through our challenges, and if you're a prop firm trader, you understand what I'm talking about, or maybe you're going for one. When we are going for the challenge, there's like a window between like break even and like 6% or 7% where you're not really thinking about the total, and you're not thinking about blowing the challenge, because you're not close to blowing it and you're not quite close to passing it. Once you get to like that 3% and then 2% and 1% mark, it can really take a toll on you, because you start thinking more about the outcome of passing rather than taking the appropriate trades, right? Same thing goes for if you're in drawdown. If you're in drawdown 5%, you start thinking about, oh my God, I'm close to blowing this account, rather than, okay, how do I get out of this? And the secret to that is taking A+ setups and not being greedy with your take profits, right? Because those small base hits are going to get you out of drawdown, and then those small base hits are going to get you into profit. And then who knows, you may continue with the small base hits, the 2%, the 1%, the 1 to 3s. And then maybe you'll catch a trade where you're rolling stop and it hits 5%. Next thing you know, you've passed, right? So I hope this little sit down video brought a ton of value for you. I really, really think it did, and I hope it did. And let me know if you want to see more of these. I like changing up the scenery. We're in the whip right now. It's a nice fall day in Canada. And let me actually spin this around for you guys. You can see the fall leaves. I'm not sure if you can see the fall leaves, actually. We actually got some snow over there, which is kind of brutal, but snow over there is from the arena. But yeah, gonna quit rambling. I hope you enjoyed this video. Smash the like button, please. Drop a comment on a topic you'd like me to talk about, and subscribe if you're new. We're almost at 60,000 subscribers. Let's friggin' go. You guys are unreal. I appreciate you all so much. It's insane. And what do I say at the end of every single video? Let's be 1% better every single day. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.